Okay, this is like take 27,384 on this short 5 minute video that I'm supposed to do. But I found myself getting very carried away the first two or three takes, and it was like 12 minutes and 14 minutes. And look, it's already 18 seconds into this, and I still haven't said much about the topic. But here's the thing, now I'm lost for words. How's that? I would consider I had so much to say. Now, the reality is, so I was asked to speak on a very specific topic, the Declaration of Independence. Now, I joke and I say, to me, it's the most important document in the world. I mean, some people would argue that Magna Carta is the most important document in the world, but then we live in a world where, people automatically assume that people from Alabama in elementary school or high school, we were taught even what the Magna Carta was. Magna is a word that you don't hear in Alabama schools, I can assure you. But of course, the Declaration of Independence is something that we learn about. Now, fact one, which I'm sure you probably know, is the Declaration of Independence was written by Thomas Jefferson. Well, he was one of five, but he wrote the preamble. But this is what I was given as what he first wrote for the Declaration of Independence. Okay, let's see. Oh, where is it? There we go. We're going to go over this way. Number one, these are Thomas Jefferson's handwritten notes. Fake news. Which I hate that phrase, fake news. I don't even know why I use it, so I apologize for that. Number one, I hate England. You probably did. Two, I hate tea. I'm a coffee guy myself, so I can equate to that. Three, I hate crumpets. Okay, let's go to number four because it's correct. I don't even know what crumpets are. Hey, I'm an American. What is a crumpet? I don't know. Is it even relevant? I don't know. Maybe you guys have your own culture over there. You know what? It said the American Revolution, I think it was the Crumpet War because we didn't want crumpets, right? Oh, wait, let's keep going. Number five, I hate taxes. I'm 100% in agreement on that one. It's sad we have to have taxes to pay for things. I think we should go back to the barter system. Hey, guess what? I'll give you California if you give us something in return. But I don't think you want California anyway. Six, I hate crumpets. Hey, Thomas Jefferson and TJ and I were on the same page about the crumpet thing. But no, in seriousness, what is the Declaration of Independence? I mean, it's a document that people wonder, why did you even have to write it? I mean, like, isn't it like an understood that the Declaration of Independence, that you wanted your independence? So why did you have to write the fact that you wanted independence? Well, the Declaration of Independence was written for really two very specific reasons. First, the 13 colonies, as is today in America, it's hard for there to bring unity in this country. It's hard to get all the states to unify around anything. And back then, when the colonies were there, listen, you had New York, which was in their own little world. And you had the South, you had Georgia, which was on their little world. I mean, just think about the dynamic differences between the North and the South, which once again manifested itself in a civil war, less than 100 years later. But the reality is, the Declaration of Independence is a document that is designed to show unity to the world, that they should come and help us kick the Brits' butt. I could probably say it some other way, but I don't know if there's a censorship in this thing or not. But the reality is that by showing that they're united, that the colonies are united, that sent a message to countries, primarily France, to say, hey, we are united in this cause, and we need you to come help us so we can win. Because the reality is, we couldn't beat England without some other unifying force or like the French. So that's one of the primary reasons that it was drafted, to show that unity and inviting others. It's like a smoke signal. It's like, hey, we're sending a smoke signal up. We're united. Come help us. And France got the word. Many thanks to somebody like Benjamin Franklin over there, who trying to convince him to intervene, which he did. But the other thing about the Declaration of Independence, even though there were 85 changes to the Declaration of Independence, but the preamble never changed. The preamble, and I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but I have to look over here because I can't remember anything. I won't read the whole thing. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect of the opinions of mankind requires they should declare the cause which impel them to the separation. Of all the 85 iterations of the Declaration of Independence, independence. The preamble was never changed. Anyway, then it goes on to this is what emotionally gets you. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. They are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. That among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, which I 100% agree with the pursuit of happiness part. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just power from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it. Now I could go on, but that's the gist of it. I mean, by the way, it's a very short document. I mean, outside of the preamble, it lists a long list of complaints like, the king did this, the king did that. I mean, that's a laundry list. And primarily that's where the changes were in the document to try to unify people around what their grievances were. But as I was saying, the second most important reason this document was drafted, outside of the fact that it showed that there was unity and that we needed to be unified, was the fact that it set the tone of what America is. It set the feeling like, okay, it's not just about, hey, we just don't want to pay taxes, or hey, we just want our rights to dump tea in the Boston Harbor. No, it's about saying who we are as people. Now, of course, our founding fathers and many others took inspiration from documents like the Magna Carta and others. There's no doubt about it. But these words are timeless. I mean, we hold these truths to be self-evident. But what's funny about that? They are self-evident, but even today, sadly, many people take these things for granted. But the right to self-determination, the right to decide your own future, the right to say, listen, I'm not going to put up with that if you're not going to represent my interest, I'm going to call BS on that, and I am going to kick you away, get rid of you. That's what this document says. But even though it's a document about dividing, about separating, about saying England go away, we America are going to be our own, it's also a document of unity. A document in which it says that we colonists are unified. So it's one of those weird situations where, it's about division and dividing, but it's about creating unity, which is something we desperately need in this country and in this world is unity. But anyway, one other interesting fact about the Declaration of Independence is, even though it was signed on July 2nd, 1776. All the cute little bells and whistles and dots and I's and all process T's were done on July 4th. But John Adams, who was one of the 5 writers of it, refused to recognize July 4th as Independence Day and as the day it was signed. One reason because it was signed on July 2nd officially. But he refused to have an Independence Day of July 4th. But what's interesting is that 50 years to the day on July 4th, John Adams died. 1826. July 4th, 1826, John Adams died. But what really gives you chill bumps is that you think about on that day as well, 32 minutes later, Thomas Jefferson died. Thomas Jefferson died on July 4th, 1826. Just less than a half hour within his good friend, John Adams, died. 2 men. I mean, I know people talk about Thomas Jefferson all day long and about what he did with the Declaration of Independence. And by the way, this is another thing I'll say. It's very emotional one. It's like, crap, that's due tomorrow. That's what I would usually say to my teachers. But in all seriousness, Thomas Jefferson, yes, he was the mastermind behind it, especially the preamble, because he wrote the preamble and it wasn't changed. But he and John Adams were like brothers in arms. And when they died, that was really the 2 people who were the foundation of our great country. Anyway, all that being said, I would encourage each and every one of you to read the Declaration of Independence. I said, don't worry about all the grievances about, why the king did this and the king did that, because once again, that's just a list of that we would all make about things that we don't like. But it's the principles set forth in the preamble that are the foundational principles, not of just America, but should be the foundational principles of the world. So anyway, thank you for this time. I hope you enjoyed this little chit chat, and all of you stay safe and healthy during this critical